Hello my friends, this is Kathleen with Be Again Books. I am happy to welcome you into my studio today. Have you ever finished a masterboard and thought, well, that's nice, but somehow it just kind of feels unfinished? The papers are glued down, the composition is balanced, technically it's done, and yet there's something that seems to be missing. For me, that's often because as it stands, the masterboard still looks like separate pieces of paper sitting on top of each other. It hasn't quite become a single surface yet. Today, I'd like to show you just a few simple things that I do before cutting up a masterboard. Little touches of paint and stencil work, a little bit of stamping maybe, and some paint splatters that add depth and texture and some visual interest. And then I'm way more satisfied with it when I get that much done. So none of these steps are complicated, but honestly together they kind of transform a flat collage into something that feels just softer and more finished. You know, I love depth, and that's what this video is all about today. So let's see what a difference those details can make. So I have written it down in kind of a formula for you. So the first step is to build the masterboard. We've done that, and so many of us already know how to do that. I won't take the time to show you, but the second step is to kind of blur the edges. Then we'll add some subtle texture, some visual depth, and then we'll finish it. Okay, so the first thing, I've got two because I need a dozen journal cards, and that's what I'm going to make from these two masterboards. So we'll do each one, and the first thing I'm going to do is blur the edges. So I've got some acrylic paint, just a light kind of vintage white. I'm going to put this down here on my work surface, and I'm going to take my brayer. What have I done with it? There it is. I'm going to take my brayer and pick up some paint. I'm going to roll some of it off until I get kind of a smooth roll going, and then I'm just going to brayer that on. Pick up a little bit more. I want to get kind of some depth in all of the spots. So that's just going to kind of blur those edges a little bit. Can you see that? I hope so. Let's try it on the other one. I don't want to cover up anything, really. I want all of those little, details on the papers to show through. I just kind of want to blur it a little and create a sort of general feeling, so that it feels like one piece instead of, a bunch of little pieces stuck together. Okay, now maybe on that glad picture is a little too much, so I'm just going to take a baby wipe and just kind of wipe a little bit off, just so that that picture shows. I don't want to cover that up. Yeah, I'm liking that. Okay, I'll just clean off my brayer. All right, let me go dry these and clean this up, and then we'll be on to the next step. Okay, after we have blurred the edges, The next step is to add subtle texture. I'm going to do that with a couple of different things. I'm going to first of all use this stencil and just put a little bit of subtle stenciling in kind of just around. I'm going to cut these into thirds this way and halves. So I want to make sure that I get some stenciling sort of everywhere on each of the cards. So just going to move the stencil around. Particularly if there are white spots and spaces, I can kind of just add. You can see how that immediately adds more depth. Yeah, put some on this one as well. We'll put it kind of over the edge of where I plan on cutting it. So this is kind of a blank spot there, so I want to be sure to get a little bit of stenciling on that spot. Yeah, very good. I like that. Okay, now the next step, add visual depth. I'm going to do that a couple of different ways. I have some stamps. Now I could use some other texture stamps like text or just shapes of some kind. I'm going to use this number stamp. It's my favorite stamp for this kind of thing. And then I have this little leaf stamp, and then just a squiggle. This is what I mean by texture stamp. Just a squiggle of some kind. Okay, so I have a 24 right here. This is 25, so I'm going to shift the masterboard, and I'm going to put a 25 in a different direction, maybe right there. I'm going to put another one over here. And on this one, let's see, where is a good spot? Maybe right up here. Okay. Now that has made a difference already. I think I want this one maybe coming off the page up here. Yeah. Okay, and do I want to use the leaf? I don't want too much going on, but just kind of enough. I think I'm going to use not the black, maybe the brown, or maybe this gray. Yeah, let's try the leaf with the gray. And I will one. Okay. And we'll just put a little bit of a brown squiggle. Okay. I like that. Now, finally, let's do just a little bit of a pale green splatter. So I'm going to put down a little bit of this acrylic paint. I'll add a little bit of water to thin it out. I'll just put a little bit of splatter on there. That's going to add some depth as well. And just kind of, you know, finish it off. Okay, let me dry these. I'll be back. Okay, can you see what a difference those details make? So my formula kind of got messed up by the stamps over here, but anyway, so blur the edges, add subtle texture and visual depth, and that's going to make it so that you are more satisfied, I think, with how your masterboard turns out. So now I'm going to cut them apart and add the focal details, and I'll be back. Okay, so some of the cards, you know, look wonderful just on their own. Some of them are a little bit more plain, so we'll put those aside. That's a little plain. That one is good. We'll kind of see about that one. This is good. That's good. I like this one, even though that, you know, is not great, but it doesn't look so bad this way. Okay, but these need something a little bit more, so let's just go back to our texture stamps, and we will just add another couple of things. Yeah. do a couple of numbers on these. That's yeah. Okay, so everything has a number now. Now what it needs is the regular distress on the edges. So I will just go ahead and do that and be back and show you the next step. Okay, I think that distress on the edges gives it even a little bit more visual depth. I really like using that. Now, how am I going to finish these? So this could just go now into my stash and be ready for whatever journal I want to use it in. But as I say, I've got plans for these, and what I want to do is put a floral sticker on each one and possibly a label. Yeah. So just to kind of finish him off, I think that's what I'm going to do. I do like the label up there rather than over here. Let's see. Kind of don't want to cover up that, but I think I'm going to have to. Yep. There you go. Let me do this to the rest of them and I'll come back and show you what we have. Okay, here are the finished cards. I think they turned out really well. Certainly has more depth, more texture. Yeah, just a more visual satisfaction than the plain masterboard. Yeah. Hey, thanks for being with me. I hope this was a helpful video. If it was, would you think about maybe hitting the like button? That will help the algorithm spread this video to those others who might enjoy watching it. I thank you for your time today, and I'll see you again with a new project.